Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. They said, let us build a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. One tongue, one speech, one broadcast in the air. The first empire rose on Babel's prayer. They laid the bricks with bitumen and care. One language and one common vow, to build a name and never bow. The tower climbed where only God should stand, a frequency of pride across the land. One signal that the world could understand. They thought the height would make them gods, but heaven watches through the odds. The Lord came down to see the city spire, the brick and bitumen of human fire, and scattered every tongue of their desire. The one became the many then. The broadcast broke and could not mend. One language split apart. God scattered every heart. The tower stood unbuilt. The name was left in silt. The first broadcast crumbled on the plain. One signal shattered into tongues of rain. The pattern of the beast was born that day, when men tried to make their name and stay. The blood runs deep from Babel to the beast. The first broadcast was scattered at the feast. The blood runs deep. One tongue became a sea. The name they wanted was not meant to be. The blood runs deep. The pattern was begun when Babel fell beneath the scattered sun. The signal that the demiurge would spin was born when men first gathered in their sin, to build a name and never let truth in. The first false frequency was cast, and echoes from the ancient past. False prophet demiurge, the ancient wire, transmitted from the top of Babel's fire. The lacklight climbed the tower ever higher, but God came down to see the stone and broke the broadcast from the throne. They scattered with their languages confused. The first great work of empire was refused. The pattern of the beast had been diffused, but not destroyed, it only slept. The blood of Babel's children wept. One tongue became the rain. The tower split in twain. The signal broke in pain. The first broadcast crumbled on the plain. One signal shattered into tongues of rain. The pattern of the beast was born that day, when men tried to make their name and stay. Blood runs deep from Babel to the beast. The first broadcast was scattered at the feast. The blood runs deep. One tongue became a sea. The name they wanted was not meant to be. The blood runs deep. The pattern was begun when Babel fell beneath the scattered sun.
Pharaoh's magicians did the same things by their secret arts, and Pharaoh's heart became hard. He would not listen to Moses and Aaron as the Nile turned to blood. The Nile ran red beneath the morning sun. The first of many signs had just begun, but Pharaoh's broadcast was not yet undone. The magicians mimicked heaven's sign with secret arts and dark design. Janus and Jambres stood before the throne and made the water bleed as if their own, to keep the people thinking they're alone. The state had sorcery to spare to counterfeit the holy air. For 100 years the Hebrews bent their backs, while Egypt's propaganda hid the facts. The God-King story had no cracks. The empire wrote the only tale. The slaves would die inside the jail. The magicians mimic signs with secrets and designs. The broadcast of the throne told slaves they were alone. The Nile became the blood they could not fake. The state magicians could not stay awake. The pattern of the beast was in the land when Pharaoh's broadcast crumbled into sand. The blood runs deep. The Nile remembers now the slaves who bent beneath the empire's plow. The blood runs deep. The magicians fell undone when heaven's signs outran the state's false sun. The blood runs deep from Egypt's ancient stone. The broadcast of the God-King was overthrown. The empire's media was priest and art, carved on the temple walls to play the part of God-King who could never lose the chart. But every plague that Moses called revealed the Pharaoh's power stalled. False prophet demiurge, the ancient wire, ran through the courts of Egypt's empire. The lac-like climbed the obelisk higher, but every firstborn son that died proclaimed the broadcast of the lie. The sea closed on the chariots and the horse. The empire's final broadcast met its source. The slaves walked free by heaven's holy force. The pattern written in the deep, the blood of Egypt's children weep.
The Nile could not forget the magician's final death. The sea swallowed the threat.
The Nile became the blood they could not fake. The state magicians could not stay awake. The pattern of the beast was in the land when Pharaoh's broadcast crumbled into sand. The blood runs deep. The Nile remembers now the slaves who bent beneath the empire. in stone. The broadcast of the God King was overthrown.
Nyva carved her palace walls with the flayed bodies of her enemies. I am Nebuchadnezzar who built this. He raised a golden image on the plain of Dura. Bow or burn. The palace walls were carved with living skin, the flayed and beaten bodies of their kin. The terror was the broadcast from within. Nyva taught the world to fear by making every death a mirror. The golden image rose on Dura's plain, 16 by 6, a monument of pain. Nebuchadnezzar's name was in the grain, bow or the furnace sevenfold, the oldest story ever told. The three refused to bend before the gold. The furnace roared, but they were not consoled by any promise that the king controlled. A fourth man walked within the flame. The broadcast could not speak his name. The golden image stood. The furnace burned for good. Three men refused to bow. The fire is their vow. The empire carved its terror into stone. The propaganda said you are alone. But in the furnace walked a holy fourth. The pattern of the beast was shown its worth. The blood runs deep, the furnace and the gold. The tyrant's broadcast is a story old. The blood runs deep, the palace walls of dread, the flayed and beaten bodies of the dead. The blood runs deep from Nina's cruel stone. The empire signal was overthrown. The writing on the wall at Belshazzar's feast declared the broadcast of the beast had ceased. The kingdom weighed and found the very least. A hand without a body wrote the empire's final fatal note. False prophet Demiurge, the signal broke. Beneath the writing that the finger spoke, the lac crumbled into ash and smoke. The pattern written on the wall declared the broadcast and the fall. The lion's den received the man who prayed, but Daniel's God had shut the mouth, obeyed. The morning found the prophet unafraid. The king who signed the law in haste had watched the broadcast go to waste. The writing on the stone, the king upon the throne, the empire overthrown. The empire carved its terror into stone. The propaganda said you are alone. But in the furnace walked a holy fourth. The pattern of the beast was shown its worth. The blood runs deep, the furnace and the gold. The tyrant's broadcast is a story old. The blood runs deep, the palace walls of dread, the flayed and beaten bodies of the dead. The blood runs deep from Nina's cruel stone. The empire signal was overthrown.
and spread the Greek tongue to the nations. Antiochus Epiphanes set up the abomination in the holy place and slaughtered the faithful. Rome lined the roads with crosses, and the crowd roared, "Caesar is Lord." The son of Macedon with iron hands spread Greek across the sea and every land. One tongue again, one culture by command. Hellenization was the blade, the broadcast in the colonnade. The Seleucid arose with savage breath, set up the desolation and the death. The holy place became the swine's own wreath. The faithful bled beneath the sword, while empire spoke the single word. The roads of Rome were lined on either side with crosses where the crucified had died. Pax Romana, the peace, the empire lied. The Colosseum roared for blood. The broadcast was the crimson flood. "Caesar's Lord," the congregation cried, while Christians in the catacombs replied, "Jesus is Lord," and for that word they died. The beast upon the 7 hills demanded worship and the kills. False prophet Demiurge, the ancient wire, ran through the circus and the Senate's fire. The lacklight dressed as empire ever higher, but every martyr in the grave declared the truth they died to save. The pattern of the beast was wearing thin. The blood of saints had testified within. The empire that could never lose would spin its final broadcast to the skies and fall as every empire dies. From Alexander's dream of one world bound to Rome's great roads on crucifixion ground, the signal of the beast had run around the Mediterranean Sea, proclaiming what could never be. But every empire's broadcast has a term. The truth cannot be silenced by the worm. The Logos rises and confirms the firm. Caesar is Lord was always lie, and Jesus is the Lord most high. The crosses line the road, the empire bore its load. The truth was not in code. The nations fell beneath a single tongue, the broadcast that the beast had always sung. But every martyr's blood upon the stone declared the empire's signal overthrown. The blood runs deep from Greece to Roman blade. The broadcast of the beast was all unmade. The blood runs deep, the Colosseum's cry. The pattern of the empire had to die. The blood runs deep, the crosses and the lions. The truth outlives the broadcast of the tyrants. righteous Abel, to the fall of the last empire. The pattern holds across the ages, the broadcast speaks in every tongue. But the truth was from the beginning. The blood of Abel cried out from the soil, the first to die for worship, not for spoil. Cain built the first city on that oil, the pattern written in the ground. The broadcast made the murder sound. From Babel's tower to the Pharaoh's court, from Nineveh's carved walls to Caesar's port, the beast has worn 1,000 faces short. One signal through the centuries cast, the same old lie from first to last. The names the empire tried to make unknown are written where the broadcast is dethroned. The ledger of the Lamb is carved in stone. Every forgotten battlefield has testimony now unsealed. The pattern is the proof. The blood cries from the roof. The logos was the truth before the beast first used. From Abel to the fall of ancient Rome, the pattern of the beast was overthrown. The broadcast spoke in every tongue and land, but truth was the beginning and the end. The blood runs deep from Abel's crimson cry. The pattern of the beast was born to die. The blood runs deep through every ancient stone. The broadcast was a liar on the throne. The blood runs deep. The logos was the word before the beast was ever seen or heard. Beneath the dust of every fallen wall, the blood of the forgotten names the call. No empire's broadcast could outlast them all. The tower, Nile, the palace stone, the cross, the lions overthrown. False prophet demiurge, the ancient lie, is older than the empires in the sky. The lack lie spoke in Greek and Latin cry, but truth was born before the beast. The logos was the final feast. The pattern holds from Babel to the fall, the same frequency beneath it all. The blood of every empire heard the call and testified against the lie. The truth was always standing by. The pattern is complete. The blood beneath the feet. The logos takes the seed. beast was ever seen or heard. The bloodus was a word liquid